to Sesame Street Land and go see what's going on with Elmo and Cookie Monster. Looks like Oscar's out meeting and greeting with people. That's cool. What's going on, Oscar? Little splash pad here for the kids. They've got these food trucks. This is the food option here, are these food trucks.
Emily! Get over here! Get over here! Kitchen!
Looks like, what's this one? ABC Eats. Looks like some chicken tenders. Yeah, it looks like that's what this is chicken tenders. They do have a kids meal for $9.99. It's not bad. For another $4.99, so it'd be $14.99 roughly to get the souvenir lunch pail with them. So that's pretty cool. Little laundromat. There's Hooper's store. I grew up watching Sesame Street, so a lot of this stuff's really, really nostalgic for me. I'm sorry I'm like constantly talking. They just got the Sesame Street music constantly playing in the background, so I'm trying as hard as I can to make sure that... Uh-oh. What's this? It's Elmo! How are we doing, Elmo?
Elmo's waiting for his friend Portia the Penguin. Yeah, we're gonna have a play day.
You have a play day?
Hello. Here she comes.
Oh, there's a penguin coming.
Oh, Portia, hi! Elmo. Oh, that's a really cool walk you got there.
Oh, you want to try it?
You think Elmo can?
Sure.
You think Elmo can penguin
You guys
walk?
can try it too. It's easy to walk like a penguin.
Lots of really cool interactive stuff for the kids to do. So if you're worried about the kid not being able to ride a lot of stuff at SeaWorld, with the new Sesame Street Land opening, there's so much for the kids to do. So much, especially if they're like preschool age. Oh my goodness, the amount of like 3, 4, 5-year-olds that I see running around this place having a ball, it's crazy. And this is the part that hits me in the nostalgia feels right here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 Sesame. Sunny day. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But it's a really cool place in here. Lots of little like carnival style kiddie rides. If you were here when this was Shamu's Happy Harbor, all of the rides are exactly the same. They've just been rethemed to Sesame Street. If you look behind me, that's the Big Bird. He's over there reading stories to the kids. There's story time here. If you've got like a preschool age kid and you're in Orlando and you're going to try to do something other than Disney, Sesame Street is pretty cool. And right here at the Sesame Street Theater, that's where you can go in and actually meet Elmo and friends. Usually it's just Elmo and Cookie. I believe Elmo and Cookie Monster are the only ones that tend to go in there because they're the ones that tend to have the longest lines. Yeah, you see Elmo on one side, Cookie Monster on the other. But the coolest thing that I thought was they do a lot of these like play signs, these Broadway posters that are satire with the Sesame Street characters. I think that's really cool. And they also have these like static figures around Sesame Street, so if your kid gets nervous around the actual like characters and doesn't actually like to be close to them, you could still take a picture with Cookie Monster or Elmo or Abby Cadabby right here with these statues that are sitting around. And I would imagine that would be very welcome to a kid who is a little bit shy when it comes to the characters. We are over here by Infinity Falls. And if you've never ridden this is a really fun raft ride. It's got a really cool, it's actually got the world's tallest drop for a raft ride. And the cool thing about it is on the other side, They actually use an elevator lift to get people to the top. Here, look. Not sure if you could see them actually like elevated up, but it's an elevator lift. It's not a traditional like angled lift. And then a Splishy Splash. But if you've never ridden this, I recommend it. I think it's a really fun ride. Only when it's hot though, because you will get really, really wet on it. Like today, it's probably like 72, 73 degrees, and it is a 5-minute wait. It's not very busy today. Another good thing about SeaWorld when it's not the weekend, during the week, it seems to be, it and Busch Gardens, the two SeaWorld parks, seem to be the only parks that are like not too busy during the week. Universal and Disney are just busy all the time, all the time. There's very, very few times that you're gonna be able to go to either one of those parks and have like no waits anywhere. But today, here at SeaWorld, it's Thursday and it's pretty dead. I mean, it's Thursday at like noontime, so you'd figure that it'd be a little busier, but I'm not complaining. Oh, let's go check out Mako, see if it's running today. It is a little bit windy. Walking past Infinity Falls into the shark section next to the Nautilus Theater here, I still have yet to see a Mako car go by. And so one drawback of this ride, it is like one of my favorite roller coasters, but if there's just like, if it's over 10 miles an hour or so with wind, I'm not exactly sure what the number is, but it's not like crazy windy. But if there's like any wind at all, they just shut it down. And it has to be because of like worrying that it's gonna valley. I don't think it ever has, but I'm sure that it's more than possible. They also won't run it if it's too cool, in fear that it will valley. So if it's less than 60 degrees, they tend not to run it either, but I have yet to see this thing go. People are getting in line though, like it's open. Let's see. It appears to be open. It says it's a 10-minute wait, but I have yet to see a single train go by at all. Odd. Walk away for 2 seconds and it proves me wrong. So I guess it is running. They just might be running one train today because it's so slow. Usually you see them go by a little faster than that, but it's nice to see it open. I guess it's not too windy to have them open today. Love that ride. If you haven't ridden it, Mako is probably my favorite roller coaster in Florida for the time being. Iron Gwazi, we'll see where that is. But I have a feeling that it may overtake Mako as my favorite roller coaster in Florida. But as of right now, it's my favorite coaster in Florida. It should be yours too. It's such a cool shot to look across the lake now and see that orange monstrosity over there. It's pretty cool. The best part about Icebreaker, I think, is that it's not blue or green. Every other roller coaster here has a blue or teal or blue-green color palette. It was nice to have one, a very different color. Let's go check out some other stuff. Go check out Antarctica. Heading into Antarctica. This does tend to be the only section of the park that gets crowded, like seriously crowded. But today it doesn't look that bad. Today is actually like, holy crap, look at this, guys. It's usually way worse than this. It's usually shoulder to shoulder. It's very similar to like Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley or what I would imagine Galaxy's Edge to be on most days. Just very crowded. But today it doesn't seem that bad. But once again, the line for Empire of the Penguin, which is a objectively terrible ride, is always very long. See what it is today. We'll make a prediction. We'll make, I'll say 35 minutes on a day where everything else is 5 minutes. What do we got? We got, ooh, pretty close, guys, pretty close. 30-minute wait for that ride, whether it's busy or not, it's just, it's par for the course. It's just what happens for Antarctica. If you haven't ridden it, ride it. But if you have ridden it, you understand what I'm saying when I say it is objectively bad. But hopefully, you know, the new additions this year, the icebreaker, and maybe next year with the wing coaster, really kind of level the playing field as far as like SeaWorld's great rides. Let's go see what else there is to see around at SeaWorld Orlando. Just coming out of Antarctica into the Journey to Atlantis and Kraken section, and it looks to me like Journey is down. There's no water coming down. Must be doing annual maintenance on it. Let's get a closer look. They're definitely over there doing something. Working, maintenance bay. Over there doing their job. I wonder what they're doing. Obviously something about the skid plate or something there is all messed up. It's really rare you get to see, well, it's less and less rare for this ride, but to see them emptied like this. I can't imagine that this ride's gonna hang around a whole lot longer. I mean, it is fairly old. If I remember correctly, it was the second ride that SeaWorld ever put in after Wild Arctic. Like, this was in here before Kraken was, so who knows? It's already changed a lot since it opened. It's a completely different story ride than it used to be. Well, now that we've seen that excitement, let's go check out what the wait time for Kraken is today. You guys saw that Penguins is about 30 minutes. I would argue probably not worth it. Kraken is most likely going to be a 5-minute wait, and I would tell you it is more than worth it. Get in line, ride it, it's fun. I don't know if they're doing the VR anymore. They do it so infrequently that I wouldn't bet that they're gonna do it. But it's still a really fun ride. Really good classic B&M floorless from the late 90s. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, kinda was right. Look at this, guys. 5 minutes. Always worth it. I think this ride is a blast. I think it's really fun. There's only one real spot where the ride tends to shake you up, and it's this dive right here underground. But other than that, the ride's really smooth, and still, I would argue, really fun. Manta here, guys. Oh boy, a 40-minute wait for Manta, which it's a great ride. I love this roller coaster. The reason they tend to have a long line is just it loads slow. Like most rides, you can get in, off and on in, I don't know, a minute. Mako's gonna take you 2 or 3. Or Manta, sorry. Manta is gonna be. That's the other thing. They have both major roller coasters here have M's in the name, so I get them confused. I'm not too bright. But yeah, it just takes a long time to dispatch the trains. So you just end up waiting way longer than you should have to, but it is a great ride. Look at this. But remember, the wait is always worth it for the front row, and I will see you guys in the next video.